Hope you're having a great Thursday so far. My name is Katie Martin. I'm a meteorologist here at the National Weather Service out of Peachtree City, Georgia. And this is just one of our weekly weather briefings for today. It's Thursday, August 22nd. So some highlights for the next week or so of weather. The first point, an incoming cold front is going to bring increased chances and coverage of rain and storms to north and central Georgia this weekend. Widespread severe weather is not expected, although as is typical with the summertime, a few strong to severe storms are going to be possible. They'll just be not so numerous as to worry about a threat in that way. For those storms that do become strong or severe, the main storm threats are gusty winds, frequent lightning, and heavy rain. Those rain chances are going to remain in the likely category into early next week. This is because that front that we mentioned is going to be coming through this weekend, and then it's going to likely stall across Georgia, central Georgia. So that will kind of keep the area primed for some rain chances each day. With this, there is an increased threat for some localized flash flooding, or flooding of streams and creeks can kind of take both forms. That is a possibility this weekend, and in a later slide, we'll talk about when exactly that will be this weekend. The good news, the damp weather may not be so fun for many of us, but it will lead temperatures to drop closer to seasonal averages. We're talking, upper 80s and even lower than that on Sunday, but that initial drop in temperature is going to happen on Saturday as that front pushes through. So current conditions, this is a kind of nationwide look at the weather from earlier this morning. The colors, a lot of colors. If you can kind of see where it looks like there are clouds, those are like cloud top temperatures. So like the red colors are really tall clouds, stronger storms. But the more important thing, aside from the current cloud cover, are the features. So the first kind of long oval is that cold front that's circled across the Mid-South and kind of Ohio River Valley. It's that front that's going to be dropping as we head into this weekend. That's going to spark showers and storms starting this afternoon and evening. And then another circle there in the Bahamas where there's a tropical disturbance. This is not going to pose any major impacts for north and central Georgia, aside from just maybe an influx of some moisture that will help spark those showers and storms as we head into the weekend. So for today, the weather setup, that front is across the Mid-South and more so the Ohio River Valley. The dashed kind of green pattern is rain and thunderstorms. So basically, no surprise, it's summertime in the South. We have a variety of some rain and storms across the area as a possibility for today. For tomorrow, notice between that last slide and this slide that the front kind of sinks south. So that front is migrating closer and closer to Georgia. So for tomorrow, we'll continue a chance of rain and thunderstorms across primarily North Georgia. And finally, on Saturday, that cold front drops south into North Georgia. It maintains the chances for rain and for storms, and you'll notice that as you go from tomorrow into Saturday into Sunday, the coverage of showers and storms will also increase. So as far as what that means for chance of rain, for today, Thursday, we have the highest rain chances primarily in the North Georgia mountains, and a slight chance as well across the southern tier. So for today, kind of a mixed bag of pop-up scattered showers and storms. For tomorrow, the pattern's a little more obvious with that front getting closer to North Georgia. That darker green across North Georgia are chances of rain up towards 60, 65%. So rain chances on the increase as we head into Friday, and especially across North Georgia. And that remains the pattern from Friday night into Saturday morning. These are the chances for rain from Friday 8 p.m. through Saturday 8 a.m. So plan on a possibly rainy Friday overnight as that front pushes through. Rain chances in the 50 to 60% range and higher for especially North Georgia. As far as how much rainfall, this is very much subject to change. It actually looks like this map has updated since I put it into the PowerPoint, so you can maybe disregard that 3 inches indicator over eastern Georgia. Looks like for the most part where you're seeing those light blue shades, that's around 1 inch of rain expected over the next 7 days. The shades of purple are 1.5 inches to up to around 2.5 inches. These rainfall totals are very much subject to change. It depends a lot on the timing of the front and available moisture. Though confidence is high that we will have quite a lot of chances of rain through the next several days. And as always, this time of year, locally higher rainfall totals are possible in those thunderstorms that are either producing very heavy rain and or are sitting over one spot and just dumping a lot of rain over an extended period of time. As far as the outlook for excessive rainfall, meaning just exceptionally heavy rain, that front moving through that we've been talking about will especially lead to a chance of excessive rain, increased risk of excessive rain across eastern and central Georgia. They're outlined in the green. And again, those slow-moving heavy rain or thunderstorms will need to be monitored for the potential for flash flooding or quick flooding and rising of creeks and streams. And again, this excessive rainfall forecast here, that's for Saturday. As far as the tropics, it's been quiet for much of the summer. A little bit of change, but nothing of concern for us. You can see what is now Depression Chantal across the middle Atlantic. That will not be posing any threat to us. It's way out there. And then closer to home, that yellow X is showing where there's a tropical disturbance that we mentioned earlier. There's a 20% chance, in other words, a low chance of tropical development in the next 5 days. And it's going to kind of likely turn away from the coast and out to sea. This is because that cold front coming through our area will kind of act to steer whatever comes of that tropical disturbance, steer it away from the coast, which, of course, is good news for our friends along the coast, of course. As far as the drought monitor goes, a little improvement, but overall could use a lot more improvement here. The August 13th drought monitor is on the left, and the 20th, this week's update, on the right. So a little bit of decrease in moderate drought there in the tan across central Georgia, mostly south and east of Macon. A little improvement, but there does still remain some moderate drought, and there are still sporadic areas of abnormally dry conditions across central Georgia. That includes the in northern Georgia. That includes the Atlanta metro area. So with the incoming rain this weekend, that will hopefully put a dent in our drought conditions across the state. And finally, temperatures. Kind of feels like in the summertime you can't have both. If it's cooler air moving in, it probably means rain, and if it's hot, that's when you might get some sunshine. So you can't have both, it seems, in the summertime here in the south. But a temperature trend, nonetheless, for Rome will start in northern Georgia. You can kind of see how in that yellow-orange line temperatures dip as we head into Sunday and Monday. So mid-80s for points across North Georgia. And I'll note that some upper 70s for highs in the North Georgia mountains. General area, Blairsville, locations like that are possible. So pretty nice for this time of year. Overnight lows will also be a little more moderate. We'll go from muggy mid-70s to maybe still muggy, but upper 60s instead in areas like Rome. For Atlanta, a similar trend. For temperatures, we dropped from the low 90s today, Friday, and Saturday, back into the lower mid-80s for Sunday and the start of the work week. And overnight lows also take a tumble, not a whole lot though. We're also looking at upper 60s for overnight lows in Atlanta and surrounding areas. And a little bit farther south, Macon, temperatures, another similar trend here, mid-90s for today, Friday and Saturday, giving way to mid and upper 80s for Sunday and the start of the work week. Overnight lows also in the low 70s. Again, this very slight cooling trend, but one many of us will probably take, will be courtesy of those increased rainfall chances and storm chances and increased cloud cover. Alrighty, so in conclusion, we talked about a cold front on the way that will bring increased coverage of rain and storms to north and central Georgia this weekend. Widespread severe weather is not expected, but as always, keep the chance in mind for some strong to severe storms being a possibility. With those stronger storms, gusty winds, frequent lightning, heavy rain would all be possibilities. And in damaging winds, sometimes severe, sometimes sub-severe, you can occasionally get some trees or power lines down, so still want to take even the occasional stronger severe storm seriously. Daily rain chances will likely stay in our likely range, so 50–60% chances into early next week, because that front looks to stall across the state, kind of keeping the atmosphere primed for those rain chances and storm chances. With all the rain, localized flash flooding and or flooding of streams and creeks is a possibility this weekend, especially as we saw Saturday for northern and eastern central Georgia. And the good news, at least what many of us might consider good news, temperatures will drop closer to seasonal averages, especially on Saturday as that cold front passes through. And we'll see temperatures kind of stay on the lower end for this time of year as we head into the early part of next week. Some contact info here. We're still having some issues with Facebook, but feel free to connect on Twitter. Our website's always there for weather forecasts and weather information. Briefing page there for the content from today's briefing, in YouTube, where this briefing will be posted once it has finished uploading a little bit later. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for your time. And this has been meteorologist Katie Martin with the National Weather Service. And if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat box. I'll stay on here for a little while. And our phone line is also open. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and a great weekend.